Mr. Secretary. So good to see you. Thank you for inviting me over.
Oh, no. Thanks for coming, and it's good to finally meet you. Since I've heard that you're absolutely devil incarnate. I wanted to meet you.
That was an exchange yesterday outside the Pentagon as Secretary Mattis greeted the new National Security Advisor John Bolton. Here to react to that and other news this morning, Newt Gingrich, Fox News contributor, former Speaker of the House and 2012 GOP presidential candidate. They're walking right by the cameras, Mr. Speaker. Is that was Secretary Mattis sending a bit of a message there?
No, look, I saw John at the White House on Tuesday, and I said something similar about the caricatures. Bolton has been such a strong, vivid person on Fox News that it's easy to forget that he was also in the Justice Department, he was in the State Department, he was an ambassador to the United Nations. He's going to do very, very well. He'll be a very good national security advisor, and he understands that with people as strong as Secretary Mattis and Secretary-designate Pompeo, he ain't going to run over anybody, but he is going to work very hard and very intelligently to bring them together. But I do think he was so aggressive on Fox News for so many years that it gives him a little bit of a caricature, and all of us who know him well kind of, pull his chain a little bit.
All right, what'd you make of the news that Jeff Sessions is not going to appoint that second special counsel that many Republicans have asked him to do? Instead, he is assigning this U.S. attorney outside of D.C., a guy who lives in Utah, John Huber, to investigate.
Look, I'm willing to give Attorney General Sessions the benefit of the doubt. I think the burden is now on the attorney from Utah, who is a U.S. attorney, to prove that we don't need a special counsel by doing his job. If he does his job really well and really aggressively, people will relax. If he doesn't do his job, you'll see a whole new demand for a second independent counsel. But I do think it's possible that he can operate within regular order. Back when I was Speaker, I opposed special counsels. I think they're very dangerous. I think they tend to create work and to threaten innocent people. So I'm not automatically in favor of one. But the burden now is on Attorney General Sessions and his choice in Utah to actually get the job done.
Yeah, there's definitely a split in the Republican Party as to whether they want this special counsel or not. Also, GOP senators want more action on Trump nominees. Democrats have been slow rolling this for a while now. Do you think we ultimately see action on the Trump nominees, or is this just going to continue on and on and on?
I think we're at a historic turning point. We have tolerated Schumer behaving as though he's the majority leader for well over a year. This is an unprecedented assault on American representation in terms of ambassadors, in terms of filling slots in the government. It is totally unacceptable. I think the burden is on the Senate Republicans to either dramatically, radically shorten the tools of the minority or to force Schumer to voluntarily go along. But I think it's a disgrace that the U.S. Senate has tolerated this. And everywhere you look around the world, whether it's in Berlin or Luxembourg and ambassadorships, whether it's in jobs in terms of the executive branch, this is a grave disservice, and the burden is on the Senate Republicans to either get the Democrats to cave or to change the rules decisively, maybe get down to a point where you get a 1-hour debate and that's it, and then you vote up or down.
Yep. Yes, Mr. Speaker, we're going to get your opinion on a bunch of topics this morning. Additional one is the VA. A lot of folks don't know how active you've been in fighting to reform the Department of Veterans Affairs. Big change there, Shulkin out, Dr. Ronnie Jackson in. And Secretary Shulkin's making the media rounds saying that he's preventing privatization, that's what President Trump really wants, is to shut down the VA and privatize it. What do you say about reform efforts and how they're characterized?
Well, frankly, I'm a little bit disappointed in Dr. Shulkin's public campaign. I was very strongly in favor of him. I think in some areas he was very, very good. But the president, as you know, and you've been a real leader on this, the president has a position that those veterans who want to go to their own doctor should be allowed to do so. They should not be trapped in a bureaucracy, particularly one which has had some of the terrible, tragic consequences of some of the hospitals around the country. I'm really surprised at how much Shulkin has come down in favor of the old order, since he knows perfectly well how much corruption and how much inefficiency there was there. I hope the president's new nominee was going to have a very, very strong deputy, and I hope they're going to continue to move towards. It's a very simple model. The VA's got to actually serve veterans, and those veterans who find themselves in an unacceptable situation ought to have the right to get the best care they can get without being trapped by the bureaucracy.
Absolutely.
I think it's a very straightforward principle.
Well said.
I think we all agree with that. What'd you make of Roseanne doing so well in the ratings?
This is sort of like, every once in a while, Hollywood will make a movie that appeals to middle America. It'll do amazingly well, and then they won't make a second movie because that's not how you get Oscars. You get Oscars by being anti-American and being left-wing and being cynical. And so the culture of Hollywood is always surprised. I think it's great that she's doing so well. I think it is, frankly, funny that she is pro-Trump, openly so, and she's being successful. And I think there's a message there for those people who think Trump's going to be easy to beat in 2000. They ought to sit down and chat with Roseanne.
Yeah, take someone like Roseanne who she doesn't care. She's tweeting about it. She's tweeting how much she likes him personally.
Right. This is one of those cases where they happen to get along. Of course, she's a pretty strong personality,
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the two of them. I mean,
Right.
you're talking about two really strong personalities.
Nobody told Roseanne how to vote.
That's
contrary
true.
to what Hillary Clinton says.
Well, Mr. Speaker, hey, have a very good Friday and a happy Easter. We always love hearing from you. Appreciate your
Happy
Yes,
Easter.
you and your wife.
Take care.
Happy Easter.
Thank you. Happy
Thank you.
Easter. All right, Jillian's over there.